Welcome back to the Wings versus Rings Divisional Round podcast now. This one is sponsored by Cope and, of course, a little bit of hope. We're going to hop right into it with Bills at Broncos. 33-30 overtime victory for Denver. Although they win the game, they do lose Bo Nix. And, first topic of conversation for me will be Bo Nix and just kind of, I don't necessarily want to say admitting some wrongs, but I have definitely said time and time again I'm not a believer. I'm rethinking that. That's where I'm at right now. Just rethinking it. I'm not gonna sway off of one game completely to the other side, but definitely rethinking it.
Yeah, it's got me rethinking it too.
He
Honestly,
was
the second year quarterback class
yeah,
kind of reevaluating as a whole. Yeah.
that's fair. So I mean names in that would be of course Drake May, Bo Nix
Mm.
as currently being talked about. Bo Nix, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. Is there one more?
Yeah, there's two more, but we don't care about nine
Oh
in
yeah.
Atlanta.
McCarthy and Penix, they have a very easy ranking for those two. But yeah, I definitely wanted to start off with some Bo Nix flowers because I guess I thought about it a little bit more as well. And to start the season, we had conversations regarding all teams and what we expected or were predicting for their season. And when we talked about Denver, I had said that I thought, and I still currently do, I mean, I don't have it all in front of me, they have a bottom five receiver room. Could possibly have the worst in the league. And I would double down on that once more. And to see him look that impressive with what I believe to be a bottom five room, maybe I was hating a little bit too much. That's where I'm at right now.
um, I get what you're saying because it's hard to be a believer because he's not on a down and down basis. He doesn't impress me because their offense is so just gimmicky is the word I keep coming back to because it's so RPO heavy. It's so wide zone reluctant. Like he ran. I saw a stat before halftime, he ran 470 yards behind the line of scrimmage, like due to the pocket movement and just his ability to scramble. And that's not like
That's a
I don't think I've ever
crazy
seen an
stat.
offense like this. I don't think I've ever seen an offense like this. So to me, it doesn't feel like amazing or sustainable, but it works. Sean Payton's developed something, and maybe I eventually have to just stop being biased and think, hey, I've never seen this, so it can't be good. But like when they do let him pass the ball downfield, he has been markedly like better than I ever expected. And that's where I gotta come to like the conclusion, like when they need him, he always comes through. And that's why I was saying I have to reevaluate this whole class as a whole because him and Caleb, like, they're very clutch. And I didn't really feel that way, even though Bo Nix went like 8-2 or something in one score games or like game winning drives last year or something. Like that's clutch. I just didn't feel like it was him as like the driving force. But this year, I feel more inclined to say that he maybe it's just because of a great playoff game against another great quarterback, and he was probably the best quarterback of the weekend.
I don't think that's
He
understated.
impressed me. He impressed me, and I'm trying not to go in with such a bias next year that I feel like I've had against him, mainly
I know
because
it feels
great guys in
almost
that class.
sorry. I was gonna say I know it feels almost disrespectful to say that like I'm going from almost being a hater. I wouldn't say that, but saying things like I'm not a believer, like it definitely would come off that way. To just now saying like I'm open to the idea of him being a franchise quarterback feels disrespectful, but in reality, it is a big sign of respect for me because I don't. To be honest, I feel like I have to stay pat on a lot of things that I say, and this one I feel wrong, and I don't want to be too late to come around. And I he was very impressive in the postseason. Uh, last or not postseason in the whole for them. It was just this one game so far, and he won't play next game. But I mean, last year I thought that they had a legitimate chance because of how he played. Like you said, he was good in one score games last year as well. But I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
reason I kind of wrote him off was just because I felt like he went to a great landing spot, great O line, great head coach. I'm not a Sean Payton guy, but I can't deny what he is, and I
Nice
guess
spot
it's
for
almost
sure.
like I graded him poorly for where he was drafted to.
Yeah,
Like that's
you put
his
him on
fault.
a
It was
curve.
yeah, and that was, I guess
Yep,
I'm just trying to
me
be
too.
I'm trying to right some wrongs, and I will definitely be way more open. And I feel like I wrote them off all year long, and they beat a team that I truly believed was going to win this game in the Buffalo Bills, and it was impressive. It was impressive, and I feel like we did need to lead things off with the Broncos, and we are avoiding the awful news, and I guess that's the part we got to get to now. But before we brought it up, I did want to just say like I was impressed. He was really, really good in some very key moments, made great throws. Like you said, when they needed him, he showed up. And unfortunately, he will not play next round with that broken ankle, and that's awful. I mean,
Yeah, and it just happened in plays that didn't need to be called, in my opinion. Like I know anything can happen at any play. It's just why, like in the situation he's in,
it's rough. Yeah, they
why are
definitely.
we
Sorry.
QB powering? Why are we QB powering? Like,
See, but that's what they're
why are we
saying the
doing that?
injury happened on. I don't believe that's where he got hurt. I've looked at the play.
It didn't
I
feel
just
like
don't
that in
see
the
it.
moment. Yeah, it didn't feel like that in the moment, but adrenaline might have been going. You know what I mean? Like situation. I didn't think it was that play either. I thought it was when he kneeled, and that's
I
why I
agree.
was really upset with it. But I'm still upset the fact that they even did that because you can always say in retrospect, why is the person out there? Why are they doing this? But why is he running the ball? He hadn't done it all game like a designed QB run. Why are we pulling it out now? I don't know. I didn't like it. I like the process.
Yeah, but if they lose that game, it's over, right? Their season's over. I know they won it, and now we probably both feel like their season's over anyways. But my point more so being like, why hold on to a play call in overtime of a divisional round playoff game? Like, if there's a time, I get what you're saying. Like, you haven't done it all game. Like, it's kind of a weird time in overtime to pull
They
that
hadn't
out. But
ran the ball all game.
it
They only
just
had 8 rushes from their running backs.
and then it's very valid. I would more so was just saying I'd pull out all the stops for a victory. So
Yeah,
if it's
I agree.
that play, I honestly feel less not bad, but I feel less it shouldn't have happened. It's super unfortunate either way, but it, it's a
Could be
little hard to
helped.
explain. But if he really did get
Yeah.
hurt on a knee down, in my opinion, a kneel that was taken differently than most kneels because they were changing a hash mark for the kicker, I it's just it doesn't need to happen at all. You're kneeing the ball. It's not a play where you're trying to get yardage. So
Yeah.
all right, we needed to lead things off with that, with the game winner being Denver. I want to move it on to Buffalo, but I don't know if you got some more to say on the Broncos side.
No, I think just
Actually,
Bo Nix was amazing,
I was
and
gonna say we should give some flowers to the defense because I mean I guess it comes both with this next topic being Josh Allen's 4 turnovers. Uh,
mm,
some are
yeah,
given, some are earned, right? So
yes,
all
always.
right, on to Buffalo. Sean McDermott is out after 9 seasons, and I just have a question for you. Screw all these
Mm.
other games. Was this loss McDermott's fault?
No, because Josh Allen gave away so many points, so I put the like all of it almost on Josh Allen.
Messed up my question. Dang.
But um, McDermott, 9 years. That I know we're gonna talk about the end. 9 years is kind of shocking because he became the head coach around the time I really started watching football like weekly and making it like something prominent in my life. So I didn't know it's been 9 years. Like that felt when I seen that I was like, wow, it's been going by quick. To be honest, and 9 years, I did not realize he was there for that long. If you're a head coach for 9 years, you were doing something right. And I don't think I think he'll get another job somewhere, but
So I
I
can,
do think it was Allen's fault. But I really believe that McDermott, like his time has come. You know what I mean?
and that's that's extremely fair. So I have a couple of things that I want to add to this conversation. Number one, McDermott has the most wins in the playoffs without a Super Bowl appearance of any NFL head coach ever.
Yeah.
Um, that said, I was very curious about this, so I did some deep diving. They are now, I believe he's now 8-8 in the playoffs. I think that's correct. Might be 8-9 after this last one. No, it is 8-8 because they have 9 seasons, missed once. One of those losses, they kind of squeaked in. You know, they're not kind of. They squeaked in and lost to the Jags in 2017. Then they have a gap year. That's when they get Josh Allen. This is what I wanted to bring up. Not their losses, but who they've beat. That win stat seems cool until you hear this. Ready? 2020, their wins were against the Colts and Ravens in the playoffs. The Colts were Old Man Rivers and, well, less Old Man Rivers. And the Ravens had Lamar, but Huntley ended up finishing that game. In 2021, they beat only the Patriots, led by Mac Jones. 2022, they go up 17-0 on the Dolphins and then proceed to barely hang on to Skylar Thompson. 2023, they beat Mason Rudolph, quarterback in the Steelers. Last year, it was Bo Nix in his rookie year and a good win against Lamar. This year was, they beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. So a couple good wins, but when you really look at it, beating Rivers, Mac Jones, Skylar Thompson, Mason Rudolph, and a rookie Bo Nix, that's not an impressive list of wins in my opinion, and it kind of blew my mind when those were the wins. I have the losses as well, but I kind of want to let that sit and swing it back to you for a minute. See your thoughts on that.
Yeah, okay, that list is surprising because they just give him this moniker of being the best, wild card quarterback of all time, and that list is surprising. But I do think that there is some context. Of course, there's always context, but when it comes to the next round, because he's averaging like 30 points a game even in that next round. So it's still like not on him. Like he's still doing his job, but I get what you mean. It's like, oh, you're only beating the bottom of the barrel quarterbacks. It's inflated
Skylar
stats.
Thompson one is pretty crazy too. They went up 17
Yeah, I didn't
nothing.
realize it
They
was a
lost
playoff
that
game.
game was 34-31.
I thought that was week 18 or something.
No, that was a playoff game. That was the wild card
That's
round,
crazy. That's crazy.
isn't
But I
it?
remember that game. I don't remember that as a playoff game.
So I have all of McDermott's playoffs losses as well. In
Mm,
2017, that's the one they squeaked in. It was a loss to Jacksonville. That was the crazy defense in Blake Bortles'
yes,
year.
Jacksonville.
Not a ton to say about that one. Their game, they were not similar to the Panthers because they didn't win the division, but it was decided by two different teams playing a football game. It was a Bengals Ravens game. I don't know if you remember this, but I know
Yeah,
they. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say it
locker
was
room.
really big. Yeah, the locker room was all watching the game, trying to see. They made it. It was. I remember. I think they sent Cincinnati like a bunch of wings, if I remember correctly, for winning. Anyways,
That's
2019 was a wild card loss to the Texans. That was, I'm pretty sure it's rookie year Josh or year two
Deshaun.
Josh. Either way, but that is, yes, that is Deshaun Watson. 2020 is AFC Championship game to Kansas City. The following year in 2021 is a divisional loss to Kansas City. 2022 they lost in the divisional round to the Bengals. 2023 divisional loss, guess who? Kansas City. 2024 one more time AFC Championship game, lost to Kansas City, and then of course this year divisional heartbreak in overtime to Denver. I
Yeah,
bring these all to you because kind of what you're saying. Josh has been categorized as this playoff riser, and I'm not saying he's not, but I don't think we can ignore this list of wins versus those names on losses. That's that's crazy to me. That's 0-4 in the playoffs against Mahomes. It's
this.
it is a
Yeah,
wild list to me. He's 1-1 to Bo Nix now.
yeah, that is the wild list. But at the same time, um, if the Broncos make the AFC Championship game, hoping they don't, that are the AFC. They already made that. Sorry, the Super Bowl. He'll only have lost to the teams that made the Super Bowl outside of the Texans his second or rookie year. I'm gonna not count that, but like he's losing to like the runner ups too. You know what I mean?
That's a
It's
good
not
point.
just
Like you
like
said, there's
he's
context.
losing to like the Tennessee Titans the year they make it, or it's not like he's losing to that one Raiders year. Like he's losing to the best team is ultimately what it is. But he's still like, to me, that's why I think Sean McDermott had to go. It's always been a defensive issue to me. And we'll talk about coaches, hires, and fires and vacancies. But I have a guy in mind for that team that I really like. But I, it's more than just him.
Brian
I do think
Flores.
he's a playoff riser. Yeah, that is exactly what I want. I think we both can agree he is a playoff riser. It's just he hasn't got it done the way people talk about him. He's not like he hasn't won anything. That's really what it comes down to, and people talk about him like he has won something. So that's the frustrating conversation for me. But he is a better quarterback in the playoffs than he is regular season, which is hard to believe because he's so amazing. And I don't want to say that as a Patriot fan, but I still have the opinion that he's a playoff riser.
I don't disagree. I do believe that the stat that I brought to you is more of a McDermott stat than a Josh stat. So, which was a part of
It's still
the
concerning.
studies. That I was
Eight
gonna
and
say.
nine,
That said, as I'm like, it's I think Josh is 8-7 is his.
8 and 7. Okay, that's still
Because
very conservative.
McDermott's eight. I think McDermott's 8-8 with the 2017 year. So I'll say one more thing before we move on. I'm pretty much done with the topic until we go to their vacancy. Um, Josh Allen 4 turnovers. I do think that he had more of the blame in this specific game. That said, McDermott had nine years because what this franchise endured pre McDermott was awful. It was a 17-year playoff drought, and when he did get that win in 2020 or it was year 2020, but it was the 2019 season. When they did get that, it had been 25 years since their last playoff victory. I really think he just got to ride that, like the coattail of that stat for the remaining 8 years. And the reason I say that is because of the reason that Tomlin's now gone and Harbaugh with the Ravens is now gone, and now McDermott. And I think that there will be some coaches to follow. I have one in my mind, but there will be coaches to follow with that stat being, if the quarterback head coach duo doesn't win a Super Bowl in the first 5 years, they don't win one at all.
Sort of a peer, yeah.
So
Even a peer would be good. That is true, and he those four turnovers, like just to talk about the game a little bit instead of just like big picture stuff. There was some very boneheaded things by Josh Allen that it just very uncharacteristic from him. I'm like, watching it live, I couldn't believe that he fumbled the ball with 3 seconds left in the half. Like that, that genuinely blew my mind. People are saying he was looking to pitch it to like who an offensive lineman. They're not getting out of bounds. They don't got the athleticism to do that. Like I don't understand the thought process outside of I'm just trying to carry my team. It's there's 3 seconds left. Just live to the next down. Like honestly, I think he had felt like he had to be in superhero mode, and it burnt the team very badly.
it's very that's very true. I actually, right before we move on, this time for real, was it a pick? Was it a catch? What's
It
your
was a
opinion?
pick. It was
I
a pick.
I fully agree. I fully agree. That said, I do think there are multiple angles, and some angles do make it look like a catch.
Yeah, when you
It
freeze
looks
frame
like
it
he
and slow it
gets
down.
absolutely, and every call in real time is really difficult. And I've seen something that's going around right now that I do tend to find myself agreeing with, is that I'm
Hmm.
not so upset with the call as I'm more upset with the fact that they just continue to play without having a stop
Yeah,
and an elaboration of the call. So
yeah, yeah.
I do find myself agreeing with that. That said, it was an interception, and it was a good throw. It was almost a great catch, but it was an even better defensive play. And
I like it was an underthrow.
you
If
think
I'm
so?
being completely honest, yeah, especially with Josh Allen's arm talent. I thought he could have put it down in front of him. I think both his picks were underthrows. One was way more egregious than the other. The one by Locke, that was like, come on, what are we doing, Josh? But that one, I did feel like you have the arm strength and he has the speed. You could put it out in front of him a little bit. But yeah, no, and that was definitely a pick.
I
I
agree.
can't understand people saying it's a catch. And like when you slow it down to milliseconds and freeze frame, of course anything could look. But in real time, you got to survive the ground as a, like if you don't catch the ball on your feet, you have to survive the ground. That's the entire.
You're
If
completely right.
McMillan didn't come out with the pick, it would have just rolled off his body. Like, and in real time, he caught that ball in like a quarter of a second. Like he rolled over, the ball was in his hand. Like how could you ever say someone had possession
Exactly,
in
and
that
that's where
instance?
the freeze frames come into play. I completely agree. I
Yeah,
did have to get your take on that, but if you're ready, I'm ready to get into the next game. Seahawks hosting the 49ers.
yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Question to start this. If they scored absolutely no points after the Rashid Sheet kickoff, do you think they still win that game? Obviously, you can mental math it and
No,
say, "Oh, it's 7-6," but or
you
six
know
to
what?
seven.
Maybe
And
because you know the 49ers didn't see the red zone that game. There was 0 of 0 in the red zone. They never made it. So maybe,
0 of 0 in the red zone.
yeah, maybe the Rams could have done that, or not the Rams. Sorry, the Seahawks could have done that. But that's disrespectful. If they
It was
just
a
called
question.
it there,
It was a question. It
if
wasn't
they just called it
if
there,
they were just like we're done,
all
okay.
game.
And I do tend to agree that if your quarterback's dealing with an injury, it might not be able to throw the ball. That is a hell of a way to start a game. It's just it was over. It was incredible. That was a great opening play by Rashid Shaheed, which apparently
Crowd
is now
pop.
being called modern day Percy Harvin. What speaking of pop, did you see the like earthquake register that it like that's crazy. When
I did.
Rashid in Seattle, like I don't know what they're called to be honest, but Seattle had whatever monitors that register an earthquake at the exact moment the opening kickoff happened. I don't
Wow.
got the stat in front of me. I just seen it on Instagram. Must be true. So biggest takeaway of this game. What's yours?
The Seahawks are a wagon. That's my biggest takeaway. Maybe it's just because they played a bad team or whatever, and it's all going to be lopsided. Or when they play the Rams, who knows what happens? But right now, if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm feeling invincible. Like no one can touch us, and they're the best complete team in the NFL. Offensively great, defensively amazing, special teams amazing. Like I'd be flying high, and I think they're a juggernaut. That's how I'm feeling after that game. Like I think anyone that plays them, I'm scared for them.
That's completely valid. I'll give you my biggest takeaway. It's pretty simple. The Eagles ruined the weekend.
Huh.
That's all I had to say. I mean, if they win
They
that
would have put a
game,
better
the
game up.
Rams go to Seattle. No, we don't even go. We wouldn't have been in Seattle. The Rams would have been in Seattle. We would have been in the snow in Chicago. I'm not saying we win that game. I'm not saying we win either game. I'm not saying we deserve to be there because we lost. Would have been some more enjoyable football. Then again, I'm biased. All right, real. You
Mm.
know I got to sneak the Eagles in at least twice an episode, even if they're out. So that's one. I could have done one last. Shoot, I might. Josh Allen versus Jalen Hurts. Anyways, I got another take. This season for the 49ers did absolutely nothing but hurt them in the long run. Because
Think
I
so?
truly believe if they would have just been injured. Well, first of all, Kyle Shanahan started the year by saying that it could be a retool year, right? So he kind of lowered expectations, at least tried to. Then they have all these injuries, key injuries, pretty early on in the season. If they would have just kind of closed up shop, I don't know if Salah gets a job.
Mm, I get you, man. Talking about just the brain drain.
I don't know if Salah gets a
Like,
job.
yeah,
At least not in this cycle, I'm saying.
not in this cycle. I agree. I think he was gonna have to take a gap year. I mean, he did technically take a gap year. Maybe he would have got a job because there's some jobs, man, that are just
No,
like
it's
on the
definitely
one side.
possible. It's my
But
overreaction.
he got a better spot than he probably would have. Like he could have took a head coaching job anywhere for
And we'll
sure.
elaborate
Like
more on that.
AKA Browns. No one wants to go there. But he definitely got a better. I think he did get a better landing spot as a result of this. Even if his defense wasn't amazing, it was just like, wow, you're really doing something with
Yeah,
nothing
the
else.
take isn't Salah was great and now we'll be better off with what he did. The take is the 49ers are hurt by their own success.
Yeah, well, they're hurt. That's no doubt.
All right.
Huh. The power
Seahawks
plant.
defense good enough to go all the way.
Yes.
Even knowing that these past two matchups against the Rams, they were kind of some wet paper towels. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I agree, but I think the Rams have clearly shown they have a weakness these last two games, like a glaring weakness. And you give Mike McDonald an ability to give a full fledged week, fully devote, and see this film breakdown. Like you're gonna get, and that weakness being, sorry, I should elaborate. Matthew Stafford is atrocious against pressure. I think the Seahawks aren't going to just keep sending four and just playing eight or seven on the back end. I think they're going to heat Stafford up, and he cannot move. He cannot handle it, and I think it's going to be a pretty brutal game, to be honest,
It
for
is
Stafford.
it is most definitely possible. I would counter that take personally, with just thinking that I think if that's their game plan, I'm not saying that this is my pick for the next game. We'll get there. If that's their game plan, I feel even better about the Rams. If they get some good blitz pickup, I'm not saying every single play gets picked up. I mean, that might
Preston
be the
stops
thing
the
you
men
don't want.
down.
Ball out of his hand instantly. Like I'm saying with expectations because if you see this, we see this. Seattle game plans for that. I would just assume the Rams have intelligent coaching
Oh, it's
enough
coming.
to know that they got to counter coach that. But again, we'll get to that in a minute. The only other notable news that I have from that ball game is Zach Charbonnet's injury. That's another just super unfortunate loss in the playoffs, especially this deep into a run.
How big of
Uh,
an injury was that? I didn't see.
he will not play next week. I think he wouldn't be able to go to the Super Bowl either.
Okay.
I mean,
I
let me.
thought it might have been like an ACL or something crazy, like you know what I mean. But okay, I get you. It's just it's severe enough where he's out
It's a
for.
knee injury. I know that much, but I'm not.
Yeah. And Kanon's been balling anyway, so he probably should have
Oh, it
got
says he
more
does need
than
surgery.
touches. Oh yeah, okay.
Suffered season-ending knee injury.
Damn.
It says significant knee injury unfortunately breaks your heart. He's gonna need surgery. That's what his head coach said. It doesn't say exactly what the injury was. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna really hurt the one-two punch, but can't go without saying that Kenneth Walker looked phenomenal this past game. He torched them. Three
You
touchdowns,
surprised me.
a buck 50 in total yards, damn near.
I've never been a canine guy, and he's popping out right now. Man. It's making me think a little bit like, hey,
And
especially because he's a free agent, right?
yeah,
Like I've
that
never been.
concerns me. Is he a contract year kind of guy?
Ha, no, he's stepping up right now. I didn't think he had this in him. He's running like another Seahawks running back that comes to my mind. Like
Oh no, he's not
I
too
didn't think
far.
he had that in him. He's not too forward, but he's playing like him right now. I know it's one playoff
Marshawn
game. Maybe I
Lynch.
shouldn't take. Maybe I'm taking this one game way too like I'm just way
I
too
think
in
you
on
can
it.
argue it's not just one, because you could say the 49ers game. You can argue the Rams game too because that decided ultimately who was going to win the division that time.
The tackle
But
that turned
then
the tide.
so they've been going through a gauntlet for the last few weeks, and I feel like every time I'm saying they're not going to win, and they go win. So for Seattle's sake, they probably want me on the other side.
Yeah, no, I think maybe I'm weighing this game too much, but I feel like they got the best defense remaining. I feel like they have a good offense, and I think they're the best special teams remaining. That's two of the three sides of the ball, like, and their offense is good, so they feel like a juggernaut to me. Is how I'm feeling right now. Maybe next week. All right, here. Let me hear your take about the Rams. Sorry, I'm glazing the Seahawks so much, but
Well, we're not
it
there
seems to me
yet.
like you're leaning Rams. No, no, but like, uh, okay, all right, you're right. You're right.
We're not there yet. We can move on in games. We can get to the Patriots hosting the Texans and what I'm calling the turnover bowl.
Yeah, that was really bad. I was gonna say just to like because we just all started on this hurt the Niners more than it helped them. I have to reevaluate my opinion of Brock Purdy. Similar to Bo Nix, it's like, okay, this guy just keeps performing. Yeah, I gotta believe in him a little bit more. And I've opened my eyes to him being like a. He's always been like a franchise guy, but like a borderline top 10 guy. That's
He's a
like a
gunslinger, man.
conversation for me
He,
now.
he, he throws that
Yeah,
ball, and he does not care about interceptions and why that can hurt you, which we've seen. We've seen that. It it also can lead to some superhero like play, and I think I'm right there
you need
with
that
you.
when you're. You need that when your team is so decimated, though. Like you need someone to take risks because you're not gonna beat these teams straight up. You're at a talent disadvantage. You have to have the play, like you have to have the miracle play go your way. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah,
and I've had to this whole playoffs has made me like reevaluate multiple quarterbacks as it should every year because these are the most important games. But the Niners, I don't necessarily agree with that. This hurt them because Salah is gone. That sucks. But they have like this unshakable belief in themselves that I didn't think they had. And honestly, I think coming into next year, them being way more healthy and all this, like they might think they got it all again. Like I was of the opinion they were on the decline. They were never getting back to being an elite team. I think once they get healthy, I'm right back on that boat of like these guys are contenders. These guys are a top two team in the NFC.
I got
That's how
take of the
that
month.
year's made me feel. Take it, man.
Take of the month. I'm lying.
Gotcha.
Maybe take of the week. Take of the day.
Take of the day.
I think the next coach to get hurt from this stat is Kyle Shanahan. I really think it is. I think because everyone is turning their heads and being like, "Oh wait, hold on, Brock Purdy is good without all that skill around him." Because I'm gonna say that everything you said is true, and just to elaborate one little bit more is that the reason that I kind of like opposite of Bo Nix, the reason that I used to discredit Purdy was because of everything surrounding him. But everything goes down this year. Slash has been traded. Slash never showed up. Brandon Ayuk and he was impressive. So that said, I think Kyle Shanahan might be the next coach to get hit with the if you haven't done it, are you gonna do it? Can you get over the hump?
Yeah.
This year, I'm not necessarily saying goes into that. I'm just saying if they were to be in the playoffs, say 2 straight more years, probably 3, and they just don't get past the championship, like if they get to a Super Bowl, maybe not. That said, if they can't get past the championship because of the way people are starting to feel about Brock Purdy, people being you and
Mm.
I really think he could be the next coach to fall to that stat.
Yeah, you're saying it could start the trajectory right now. Right now, it could be the first year of like when we talk about 3 years from now. Like
I think
this
it
is
might
where it
be.
started. You're saying like it's putting him on the path of like, oh, you need to do more because you haven't done enough. You're saying like
I'm not
you
even
got to
saying
show up.
it's. I'm not even gonna say it's year one. I'm just saying that it could be. It could be like a McDermott situation where you're like you've had since this at this point, like McDermott has one season coaching the Buffalo Bills, or maybe it's 2 seasons coaching the Buffalo Bills. That Josh Allen's not there. Two. He had 2 years. Kyle Shanahan has more than that without Purdy, but my point being is that I think it could just be the Purdy overlap years because of the way we're going to start to feel about Brock. If he continues to play the way he's playing, I think he will start to get considered a top 10 guy. And at that point, if you can't do it with a top 10 guy, one of the best running backs in the league, if not the best running back in the league, granted Kittle just went down, a great tight end, like good
Their
line.
roster is old though. Like their offense is old.
I agree. I agree.
Need a retool. This should have been the retooling year. I think that's what hurt them. This should have been like,
Then I was
let's
right.
have a top 10 pick. Yeah, inadvertently, but not because of the brain drain. In my opinion, like Rasal is great. More of like the receivers this year, amazing. The tackles this year are really good, but they're not going to get any of them. They're all going to be gone by the time. You know, and they need that. They need the Trent Williams replacement. They need the Ayuk replacement. Honestly, they need better receivers overall. Pearsall can't stay healthy. Jawan Jennings, I used to be like, he's a good player. I'm kind of out on him. I don't really like his attitude.
Never
If I'm
been a
being completely
Jawan Jennings
honest,
guy, thank God.
uh, Demarcus Robinson's like your wide receiver three who popped out. Like
All right, all right, all right. We're not talking about
yeah,
Demarcus Robinson.
they need, and then Kittle. Like we might not see Kittle play again.
Yeah,
That'll suck
that's
so
something
much.
I've
He's one of my
thought
favorite
about, but I
receivers.
don't even want to bring that up. It's too
And
sad.
McCaffrey, it is too sad. McCaffrey just got literally put drugged through the mud this year. Like you know how it is. Running backs really can't sustain
You
this
see
level of production.
his post game conference.
No, I didn't.
Oh man, he. I don't know if he was talking about his actual personal life or what, because he did say it vaguely, but he said this has been one of the hardest years of my life. And to me, it was just like, yeah, man, I'd feel that way too if I was fifth in
Getting
the league
tackled
in
30 times a
receptions
game.
as a running back, and then you add my what 15 plus carries a game. Like,
Yeah, you can't run him like that again next year. Like
dude, who
they
knows if he
use that for
plays?
those touches. They used up touches on nothing. That's really what it is. Yeah,
I,
who knows
I,
if he
I
plays
wanted to say like he's healthy, he finished healthy, but I felt that way when his calf
last year?
or Achilles or whatever the heck happened with him
He had
last
like
year happened.
tendonitis.
It
It looked
started
like.
as like a preseason injury after a heavy usage year, and he never played. So it's a
I don't
it's a
question his
rough
work
one, but
ethic.
we definitely need to
It's
move
just
on to this
all
next
those
game.
touches. Yeah, yeah.
This is off season conversation. CMC, we love you. Seattle, hell of a job. I mean, like I said, I was kind of hating a little bit, comparisons between our defenses. I wanted to believe we were the better team, but I was wrong. I was wrong. And also some Sam Darnold love. While he wasn't fantastic in that game, he made a couple fantastic throws. And when I say a couple fantastic throws, I don't see a lot of quarterbacks making those high difficulty throws. Just within coverage, over one guy, under another, on a third down, getting heated. Like, gotta roll out to like it's pretty impressive.
I'm seeing these quarterback make those throws, but I'm seeing them come with like three or four ultra negative plays too. Like he's not bringing that. He's just bringing the good. Like that's what impressed me. Every other quarterback is struggling right now. Like they're falling and they're having so many bad plays, but they make up with those three or four. He's just making those three or four good plays. Yes, so we got to get Sam flowers for sure. Not
All right.
surprising.
All right, Patriots hosted the Texans 28-16. Like I said, I am now calling it the turnover bowl. CJ Stroud struggles immensely, but that's not where we're starting. I need you to give me Drake May's playoff grade through 2 games.
Okay, I'm gonna go for both combined. I'll go B, and no glaze. I'll go B. This last game, I'll go A. Though, if I'm being completely honest, I know that sounds crazy. Let me give some perspective. Turnover, the pick, Hail Mary, don't count. We don't count that. He fumbled 4 times. 2 of them were lost. They're not all on him. The 3 of those 4, because the other one he got punched out on like a botched play, which is like completely his fault. Whatever. Great play by the defensive tackle, but no cope. But he has receivers that aren't getting open instantly, and he's getting tackles that are getting beaten. Like he has tackles that are getting beaten instantly. He still needs to be aware of that. I'm still giving him 60% of the blame on those strip sacks for sure. He needs to be more alert, just way more alert in the pocket. I still think he made elite throws repeatedly against this amazing defense. And I know you're gonna see the stats, yards over the like we had like less than like 300 yards total that game. We We were 2 of 14 on third down that game. We had only seen the red zone. No, we didn't even see the red zone. We never made it to the red zone. Oh no, wait, we had one red zone trip. Like you're gonna see that, and the teams previously before that are 0 and 29 in the playoffs with stats like that, and he's like the first one to ever win. So I know you could call it luck, but I thought he had some bad moments, but he was really amazing when we needed him to be. And he just overall in the course of the entire game, like drive to drive, he was up and down, but those ups won us the game. It really did. And that was an awful environment in terms of the weather, in terms of the defense we were playing, and he showed up. He showed up when I needed him most.
Yeah, that's I
I'm
mean
gonna
that's
go
what you want in a quarterback, right?
B.
That's what you
Yeah.
want in a quarterback is a guy who shows up in the biggest moments.
And he's a second year guy. He
I'm,
doesn't have
I'm
the
I
answers.
got that part. Don't worry, man. You can sit back.
Yeah.
You can sit back. I got this from a neutral fan's perspective. Not really that
Yeah, I'm
neutral
biased.
because I'm also a little biased at this point. You kind of like I'm contaminated.
Drake Mayfield.
That said, wildly impressive for a year two quarterback against what is a top two, three defense in the league. We said before the game even happened, it's not schematically an insane defense. It's just a team so talented individually, like player to player, that they're just going to line up and they're going to beat you. And honestly, if they got subpar quarterback play, they might have beat you
Yeah,
guys.
they beat
Like
us.
I truly believe that. It's a 12-point ball game with how many turnovers by CJ Stroud?
It might
Four?
have been five, but in total by the offense. Yeah,
And one
four.
of them, and then it was a running back one in like the third or fourth quarter, correct? Uh,
Yeah,
a
with
running back
Burks got
fumble, yeah.
stripped.
So if they got subpar quarterback play, they might win this game, and that's just some credit to the defense. That said,
Mhm.
we are going to talk about him in a minute, Caleb Williams, and we already just said that Bo Nix deserved flowers for his throws and his moments, his ability to rise, and Sam Darnold the same. Even though statistically you're not going to look at his stats and be blown away. I think he threw the ball 15 times, and that's all they needed. But
All needed to
uh, you got to say the same for Drake May. If you're going to say that for everyone else, you have to say the same. And I'm also a big believer that it's not just the ability to throw the ball in big moments, it's the ability to use your legs as well. It doesn't matter when you make a play, it doesn't matter how you do it. Actually, it does matter when. It doesn't matter how you make the play, as long as you're doing it when it matters.
Mhm.
And that was Drake May through two playoff games. With the Chargers, it was his legs. I wouldn't say the same this past game. I do agree that it was some big throws and big time moments, and absolutely fully agree that interception does not count. I love his willingness. It's like taking a. It's like before this rule change in the NBA, which we will get to talk about more. My goat Tyrese Maxey will be talked about pretty soon. Football is just it's huge. It's prevalent. It's the playoffs. We're gonna get rolling on some NBA takes soon, but back to it.
Mhm.
it was it was like the equivalent of throwing up a half court heave before this new rule that those don't count towards your stat sheet. I love when players are willing to do that. I love it. I love that he was like, Hail Mary first half, even though we have the lead. Hell yeah, coach. I'm not on the sideline.
Really
I'm not
aggressive.
saying he said that. I'm just saying I love his like that's a interception, in my opinion, on a Hail Mary is more likely than a touchdown. I don't know what the actual stats are. Just saying it's an opinion. Being willing to do it when you're leading at halftime. I love it. Now that said, if it was a pick six, I might be sitting here saying a little bit different stuff, but you gotta take what you
I
get.
think
And I thought I also agree that it was better than it looks.
well, you just in comparison to the quarterback across from him too. It's like this was a nasty condition for the game. I've seen a lot of people talking about Matthew Stafford. Sorry, not Matthew Stafford. C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is a touch quarterback. He needs to like you know what I mean. Like he needs to use finesse to get the ball where he wants to go. And in that weather, you can't feel your hands. You can't. There's no touch to be had in your hands. And that's people maybe they're coping with that. They were trying to explain why CJ was struggling was because he needs to be able to have a feathery throw release and put it where he wants to, and he couldn't because he couldn't feel his hands. Whatever. Same for Drake May. Drake May to me, he has like the power to just throw something a million miles an hour, but he's more of a finesse thrower at this point. He's just lofting it over defenders' heads. He's putting it in between zones, like just perfectly. and he was in the same boat as Stroud. He couldn't feel his hands. Like he overcame that. He overcame a lot of things. He overcame the best defense in the NFL, in my opinion. I know you might disagree. This was the best defense in the NFL to me, and he beat them. He threw 3 touchdowns against them. No one had done that all year. He threw over 300 yards against the Chargers. No one had done that all year. Like he's playing. And when we play Denver, and then if we play Seattle, like I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We'll have played 4 of the top 5 defenses in the NFL. No one's played more than 3 and won.
That's what it's about in the
So
playoffs, though,
he's
right? Oh, you mean
yeah,
one round of, or like one time in the playoffs, like ever?
yeah. No one's beaten 3 top 5 defenses in a playoff run
All right,
in NFL
hold
history.
on. Step aside, Kyle Shanahan. Take. We might have a new one.
Hmm.
Might
the
have
the
cooked
one
there.
the other team that did it was the Cam Newton 2015 Panthers. They had played 3 of the top 5 defenses, and
Was
they had
Denver one?
got buzzsawed by the Broncos. Yeah, they got
Okay.
buzzsawed by the
Damn,
Broncos.
that sucks. Damn. I didn't know that. It's a
Like
cool stat.
so, if we this Denver game will be the third team already in 3 playoff games, and then if we play Seattle, that'll be 4 of 5. And he's a second-year quarterback. He has struggled. He needs to be better. This is not like Drake May has been perfectly fine. I am worried because he has not. He's regressed in the playoffs a little bit, and I felt like our team needed him to be an MVP level candidate to get where we are. Shocked that we're not. Shocked that our defense is this amazing. Gotta give him flowers. Loving the production. But I said before the year or before the playoffs, I thought the weak schedule inflated our statistics. I take that back. I think we're legit.
Take that back.
Drake May needs to be better. Because if Drake May is better, if Drake May is 80% of what he is during the regular season, we should win the Super Bowl. That's how
Counterpoint.
I feel. He needs to be better. Mhm.
He hasn't been bad. He's got to hold
He
on to the
has not been
football.
bad.
If it's fumbles, right? And fumbles are turnovers, which are bad plays. They're negative plays. I'm not trying to take that away. I'm just saying he's not like it's a crazy way to say it, but eye test is not bad. It's fumbles. Got to protect the football. I know it's not a good stat. I'm not saying that fumbles are okay, but if he fumbled 50% less than he did these past 2 games, I think it's an A for both games, and you're not concerned at all. So if he can eliminate turnovers, I don't think there's been regression on any other front, really. It's just been
Yeah.
an escalation in talent on the other side of the ball.
But yeah, that is the case. But turnovers are so obviously so important.
Yes,
The
but it
main
hasn't
thing for
mattered.
me is it hasn't mattered, but the main thing for me is fumbles. It's luck based. When the ball hits the ground, who's gonna get it? That is what I'm saying. We've been lucky. He's put the ball on the deck 8 times in these 2 games. And we've lost 3 of them, so we're 5-3 in recovering them. If that stats flipped, we're losing this. We would be out the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? If it was they recovered 5 of those 8 instead of us, it'd be over. Like
No, I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to be on that edge like that.
I
Well,
disagree,
I
but I
think
only
so because
disagree because of the quarterback play on the other side. But I
Danielle
don't
Hunter
think
was
there's
about to
a.
scoop that thing up though. We're down 10-7, and he was about to pick that up and walk it into the end zone.
All right,
We're
all
down
right,
10 points to that
all right.
Texans
We're gonna go on a
defense.
tangent on this. There's no point. You're making a point
No, I know,
that's
I
true.
know.
If you flip the turnovers to 5, that's 2 more turnovers. No point elaborating. That is much worse than 3 to 5.
And it's just luck based. Like Will Campbell and Jared Wilson are having to like do some Madden mechanics, dive over the ball, catch it one handed to make sure we don't lose these things right now. It's concerning. He needs to be better, and it's not going to get easier against the Denver Broncos. And he needs to be better, flat out. But I think he will be. He's a second year quarterback, and I think this ironically, Wild's been saying all year, this is a team of destiny. That's how it feels like to me. Like we're winning like we used to, by any means necessary.
Well, it's down to the final four, and for you
Mm-hmm.
guys, it's really, I mean, one game at a time. So you're down to the two in your conference fight for that chance to represent. And we talked before the season. I had you guys as a wild card, so already wrong on that front. But I also know mentally, I expected a playoff win, depending on what how the bracket broke. But based on my predictions, I thought you guys were gonna be the 5. Thought you were gonna be able to beat the 4 because it would have been the South or the North. Sorry, AFC North. And then I thought you'd get eliminated. I didn't expect Drake May to look this good. With all those things factored in, to be at this game, got to go finish the job. And that's how I think that that locker room feels. And with this injury to the quarterback position for Denver, it's definitely gonna be something that I hope your team is not going to look into and just check mark the game. And I think that that to me
They won't,
could
of
be the
course.
deciding factor. If they
Yeah,
overlook
they
this and
definitely could
like
be.
it's a backup quarterback,
Yeah, but
Nick
before
Foles,
yeah,
Patriots.
alright.
Sorry.
I knew that was gonna get slipped in here at some point.
I had to. That's my
Uh,
second one. There you go.
of
That's
course,
two.
of
That's
course.
my two.
Before we move on to like the next game and the predictions and all stuff, I do want to talk about the Texans. They have a what would have been a generational defense. I don't know if you can call them that without winning anything, but they're awesome. They're insane. I've loved the Texans like drafting and the defense for so long. So many players on that team. I mean, it hasn't been discussed in this era, but they get all the people I want on defense. When I'm like, this guy is my draft crush, Kamari Lassiter, Stingley, this, that, like, they get them. They get them. They are amazing on that side of the ball. CJ Stroud has regressed every year since his rookie year, in my opinion. And at this point, I'm genuinely concerned. And this is a question I wanted to tee up for you. What do you do with CJ Stroud from here? Do you extend him? Do you trade him? Do you let him walk? Do you look for a Malik Willis to come in? Like, what do you do going forward?
So two things. One, I am genuinely curious what CJ would say that game was. Because if CJ's like, I'm a touch quarterback and my hands were cold and I couldn't flip it. Yeah, that, all that.
Yeah.
I want to see how you respond. I'm not saying that there's a great way to learn how to, but hold some damn ice for a while, get outside, start tossing the ball around. You know what I mean? Like I would want to as
Yeah.
the front office, what do you think went wrong? How are you going to fix it? Now I can't ask him these questions. So that said, to make an inference on what I would do if I was in their situation, which God willing, maybe one day I will be, I would I'd be very concerned, and I don't think I'm willing to pay him because ultimately the playoffs are what matters most. And I'm gonna give an example, and I'm not saying they're the same tier quarterback. Justin Herbert's been paid, and Justin Herbert's not winning playoff games. I'm not saying it's entirely Justin Herbert's fault, but I'm also not gonna say he's blameless because he has not been good in said playoff games.
But he's giving you elite regular seasons, where
That
Stroud is.
very exactly. That's why I'm saying I'm not gonna say they're the different tiers, but
Yeah.
never really been sold on CJ even in his rookie year. While it was very impressive at the time. So I would definitely lean towards not extending him. I don't even know. I,
Into that fifth year.
no, I right now I would say no. I was really gonna say I don't even know if he's better than Bryce Young.
Oh damn. Yeah, maybe Bryce is on the come up and he's on the descent. So at a certain point, if this trajectory continues, they will eventually cross each other. I think I'm still willing to say CJ's better, and he needs to really reevaluate himself. But I'm probably picking up that fifth year option, letting him play out this year, see how it goes. If it's the same result, I would think about trading him because this defense is too special. The NFL window is too short, too small to be wasting it on mediocre quarterback play
Please don't let that be
when you
like
have
a
this level of
Philadelphia
defense.
thing. Holy Lord, please no. Jalen Hurts is so much better. Damn it, that's three. I'm over my quota. All right,
You're like free throw.
Rams at Chicago. 2017 overtime game. Thicker kicker comes in and gets the job done. Caleb's throwing the back corner, right? That's got to be the first topic. I mean,
Yeah,
holy,
one of the
fill in
greatest
the
throws I've ever
blank.
seen,
I
if not the
mean,
greatest throw I've
to
ever seen.
roll, to just fall back and completely turn your head, right? And be facing the complete opposite direction.
Bad mechanic, bad process,
But he
bad
didn't even do
process,
a
bad mechanics.
360. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that.
He didn't actually do like a 360-degree turn. If you see the play again, he goes to turn. He is fully looking at the other end zone, but he 180s like back the same direction he turned in and then just
Gotcha.
launches the ball off his back foot. I don't know if he even made a read. Like I don't even understand how that play works. You're just like, oh, screw it, might as well. And
Yeah,
there's just a guy
like
there. Like
awful process, but he somehow makes it work. Like I'm a big like process over results guy. Uh, Awful process. It goes in like he just does it every week, and this is where we were talking about. I think I need to reevaluate Caleb. I was like, if the dude can't hit the layups, he's not a great quarterback. I'm at this point. He'll figure the layups out. This dude's gonna be. Dude's gonna be
We were
crazy
we were
perfect.
saying that he was going to be fantastic pre-draft, right? Pre-draft process. We both expected big things. Had a underwhelming rookie year. I think that's fair to say, based on what we expected from him, and maybe that's our own fault. This could just be a realistic quarterback trajectory, and he got the coach right, which is why I'm telling you I am so big on getting that you need that offensive genius at head coach because you're not going to lose him in the OC
Still
process.
don't. I still don't. I get your saying. I still don't agree. I
I'm gonna
get what you're
get you
saying.
on my side soon. I'm gonna get you there soon.
Is this is
It's
like the
just
what
because
is
you
this
have
like 1 in
Vrabel.
30? No, but it's just like the 1 in 30. Like you know what I mean? Like how many offensive coordinators have been hired, and how many of them will work? That you
What
know
do
what
you
I
mean?
mean? Like
I'm gonna say that Liam
Ben Johnson has
Cohen's
worked
gonna
out.
work. Liam Cohen's gonna work.
Yeah, you know the
I'm
difference
not
though
saying he already
between these
has,
guys.
but I'm saying
You know
he's
the
going
difference
to.
between these guys to me about these offensive coordinators.
I
Not
would
to.
say Kyle
We're gonna get on
Shanahan
a
already
tangent here,
worked.
guys. We're gonna get on a tangent here, guys. But the offensive coordinators that are run first offensive coordinators work. Those guys work. Shanahan, Ben Johnson. Who's the other guy we
I
just said?
wouldn't say Liam Cohen is run first.
Liam Cohen is definitely run first.
Okay, I'll take your word
He
on it.
he
I'm not
he's
say's he's
he's
pass
definitely
first. I
run
just
first.
meant feel like
Yeah, I
he's
agree
a
with you.
balanced
It's
approach.
balanced. They're all balanced. They're all balanced, but it's run the ball so we can pass. That's their philosophy for both teams. Liam Cohen's run schemes are the best in the NFL. They are the best in the NFL. This guy is cracked out of his mind at designing concepts. That's why I believe he's a running offensive coordinator or head coach. That's the same philosophy these defensive coordinators bring as the head coach, and I think that's why you've seen a much more stable trajectory for these teams and much more of a good floor. And sometimes you need that, especially when you're a bad team. But I am not. I think I'm defensive coordinator pilled with a great OC that has been around the league that you can trust. I'm out on CEO head coaches. I'm
Definitely
out
agree
on
with
that.
that.
I don't know. I don't like those.
I fully agree with that, but I'm definitely like I feel like I could keep going, but you know what?
Yeah,
For
sorry.
the sake of
I got on a tangent
no,
here.
I want to keep going because this conversation is good. I understand we're supposed to be talking about Rams Bears. This is a Rams or this is a Bears right now. This is on topic. It's a
Even
Bears
McVay's runs
conversation.
first. Even McVay's runs first.
Point being, OC like or not OC, but he's the play calling offensive minded head coach. Cohen McVay. We're talking about Ben Johnson. I also think that Kevin
Yeah.
O'Connell falls under that. Shanahan, like those are the guys I want. Stefanski, maybe even him. I'm not gonna tee him up and immediately say that that's we'll get there, but that's the type of head coach that I want. I know I'm saying this as a team with a head coach who just won a Super Bowl, but that doesn't fall under that umbrella. But I think that they got the hire right. Obviously, that's really easy to say after they just took the Rams, who are now in the NFC Championship, to the wire and kind of won the game. But I think it's a good hire. I think that's what I want at head coach. I think that should
Yeah.
be what everyone wants at head coach.
I'll even say Andy Reid, he's more of a passing guy than a run guy. He is ultra conservative though, which comes with that defensive coordinator mindset that these new OCs don't have. Like most of these guys are, I want to pass the ball, I want to be aggressive, I want to lay it all on the line. That doesn't work in the NFL. I'm very much like
Mm.
you can have awesome play designs,
He didn't go for
but you
two
need to be able
though.
to run the ball. He didn't go for two. Who didn't go for two?
Ben Johnson didn't go
Ben?
for two. All you're saying right now,
Yeah.
like he didn't go for two though.
I no, I know, and that's why it's a good hire. That's why I think he's successful. I don't think it's just because he's an offensive mind, though. That's kind
Okay,
of my
yeah, my bad, my bad.
yeah. Like, but Andy Reid, he's ultra conservative. He has elite plays. All these guys have elite play designs, but it's all on the run game. Like that's why he's hiring Eric Bieniemy to come back. He wants a better run game. It's the foundation to a great offense. A lot of these new offensive coordinators don't establish that or understand that. AKA Mike McDaniel. Like that's why he failed, in my opinion. That's why a lot of these offensive coordinators fail to become head coaches. Sorry, tangent.
Yeah,
I
for
know, but
sure. All right, so
I
I've
have a
already
very strong
referenced it.
belief in that.
I already referenced it, so might as well have it be the next topic. Should he have gone for two? Hindsight's 2020. So
I think it's 50-50. I think I'm okay with you arguing that he should have. I'm okay with that. Uh, go for it all. I like that sometimes, but the Rams couldn't score. I'm gonna trust my defense based on how the game. You tell me coming into this game, the Rams couldn't score. I wouldn't like it, or if it came down to let's say 35-34, go for two. I'd say yes because of the way the game had been going. But given how it had played out in the circumstances and how bad Stafford had been, and I'm letting my defense ride, to be honest. And it worked out. It should have worked out. Caleb
Yeah,
Williams just threw a duck.
I fully agree. I asked the question because part of my I think it's game flow, it's game decision, and you I already kind of knew your answer because you had said that's why you think he's a good hire. Obviously, there's multiple reasons, but that's a big one because being able to have some type of balance in your decision making, your game decision making, that's game time coaching. That is very. It was an intelligent call. I think not
I
going
just do what
not
the computer says.
Yeah, it was a good call. It was a good like you have to coach the game you're playing. Don't just coach a game preemptively. Coach the game you're playing because I'm sure he didn't coach up a 17-17 game that went to overtime in his head, right? It's not going to go perfectly. So coach the game you're in. And he did that. He did a good job. I think he's a great hire. It's out the park, right?
It
Like,
is a great hire.
oh man, I wish I wish we had a coach like that. That's
I
four.
wanted him. If I couldn't get Braves, I wanted him. But I wanted Braves for the connections, and I don't regret a thing at all. Especially because McDaniel's is a beast. Sorry, I know I'm getting.
All right,
I
McVay
gotta
says
slip in
that
the
he
glaze here too.
McVay said that he felt as if he coached a bad game. Do you think
I
it
agree.
was okay? No, you could jump the gun
Sorry,
on
I'm
that. No,
jumping the
no, no,
gun now.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry. I'm
no
sorry.
need,
Sorry.
no need to apologize. I do it to
I
you
very
apparently all the
strongly
time.
feel. I actually feel like I feel like both these guys coached a bad game. I know that seems crazy. Someone's got to win, but what are we? Why are we on 3rd and 10 running the ball to punt it to the Bears? You have an MVP level caliber quarterback. Why aren't we throwing that? Okay. Why did we not run the ball in the first half at all? Put it all on your quarterback. He couldn't do it. Now you make an adjustment. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. He made the proper adjustment to run the ball against his defense, who is not very good at stopping it. Why did it take so long? I I expect so much out of McVay because I think he's a top 3 head coach in this league. He disappointed me with how that game went. I feel like he was too emotionally invested on being like, I want to kick the crap out of the Bears, and he instead of just winning the game. And I think Ben Johnson being aggressive early in the game and then being passive later in the game, like I think sometimes you just gotta take the points in those elements. And why why are we not putting the ball in Caleb's hands more? Like I know I just said I like teams that run the ball first. I like it when you run the ball first, but when it's at the detriment of your team, like you gotta adjust. Like I feel like both these guys were very stubborn and they're gonna want to win how they want to win. And it was eventually like, okay, I have to change. Like who's gonna change first? Who's forced to change first? That's how I feel like it went. What is your opinion though? Do you
As
think
far
McVay
as
had a bad
coaching
game?
goes, absolutely. I mean, it's off the tail end of me just saying he's the type of coach I want, and part of the reason why is because he goes in immediately says I coached a bad game out there. I didn't allow my team to get into a rhythm, and to
The
just elaborate a
accountability.
little bit, yeah, I loved it. And the thing about it is accountability is great when you go out there, say something like that, and you do fix it. And I mean, we haven't seen it, right? But I do believe that he will go out there with an intention to fix it. I've seen
Yes.
other people go in and just it's accountability every week, but there's no fix, and so
Yeah.
there's a bit of a difference. But yeah, no, I was a big I am a big McVay fan, so I it's a little harsh, but yeah, it was a poorly coached game. And to elaborate a little bit on what you were saying, like I went in there wanting to beat them up. It was you were saying in response to the whole Matt LaFleur situation, the F the Packers from Ben Johnson, that kind of stuff.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. A little it's I don't think it's like, oh man, you messed with my friend. Like it's not something so like cliche. It's just like I'm better than you, we're better than you, we're gonna go in there and punch you in the mouth and I'm still the best coordinator, I'm still the best offensive guy in the league. I felt like it was like an ego thing, is really what I'm trying to boil it down to. Like we're better than you, and we're gonna show you why we are.
Can I say that's like the one thing about Ben Johnson I'm a little bit worried about?
Yeah. It's like bravado.
Just afraid that like right now I think it's good because it's more locker room and conversationally after. It's not on the sideline. if he develops that on the sideline, kind of gets that Nick Sirianni approach, it's not a great look.
It's not.
So just throwing that in there. But both I thought both coaches did a pretty solid job. I do think the decision. Actually, I do have a question about the decision for overtime. Is it now the right call to just take the ball? Because
No.
teams are going defense first and went 0-2 this weekend.
Okay. I didn't know they went on two. I'm definitely still going defense first. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. It changes the way you have to play the next half. Like like if you can get a stop. Well, first of all, it if you don't get a stop, you got to be aggressive,
They
right?
also
That's
scored
one thing.
zero
That's a
points.
benefit. Yes. Okay. But you know what I mean though is like
Well, I'm
if they
just
score,
saying, Kyle
you got to be
Shanahan took the
aggressive.
ball first in that Super Bowl. He put up 3. Still lost,
Put up
but
there.
they put up 3.
It's I mean when you got unshakable belief in yourself, you should go with what you think your strength is, I guess. But me personally, I'm giving the other team the ball. I'm gonna play defense because it dictates. Hey, we can play conservative here, get three, win. Hey, we got to play aggressive here. We got to go for it on 4th and 4 on the 40-yard line instead of punting the ball away. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It lets you know what you have to do. It gives you like you got to do this to win. I'd rather have that every day of the week than just being like, okay, I scored 7, or we're in red zone. It's 4th and 2. Should I go for it? Should I not? Like, what do I do here? You kick a field goal. They score a touchdown. Okay, you lost because you were conservative. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be the. I don't want to have to choose. I don't want to be the first person to choose what I have to do here in terms of how I play this game. And I think kicking it off to them allows you to be more in the driver's seat or the passenger seat and decide how this game should go.
I agree. I was curious on your take. I do think that the right call is you go defense first. Obviously, maybe if you're the
Oh
49ers,
and
you
two
you
though.
don't. But yeah, this weekend they did go 0-2. I wonder what the stat
Yeah.
is on the year though. Like
Yeah, or like all time.
overtime games since the rule change.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
they're yeah.
that's something to write
That's
down. We gotta do some studying. But Caleb's throw was really the biggest takeaway for this game. They didn't even win, but to me it was
That's his greatest throw.
so impressive on a fourth down, back foot, game on the line.
76 air yards or something. Like
That said, I've said enough about that. I'm gonna go
broke.
to the next part of that play. What the hell is the Rams secondary doing?
Yeah. I agree. How did you like misjudge it? But at the same time, I've never seen that throw in my life. If
I
I'm that corner, that's not coming to me, is it? You know what I mean? Like I'm not thinking this dude just do a 76-yard. Like, yeah, you're an NFL athlete, you should be aware. But I do kind of like
feel like 3 flags up.
there's no way this is coming to me. And yeah, and like, but what if you get like maybe I'm getting too what if you're like PI and all that stuff. Who cares? Like I'm thinking, and the guy's behind him, right? Like Durant can't see commit. Like he can't know. Like if I'm him, I'm not thinking that's coming at me. But that's just me
I think it's fair,
personally. But
especially when I said earlier, like he was fully turned looking at the other end zone at some point. I mean, I'm
yeah,
probably not thinking this play is very alive, or at a
and you're
minimum,
probably
I'm
playing
waiting
it.
for that
Mm,
rollout, and he didn't actually roll out. He did like that 180. He didn't even do the full turn. It was like gonna turn, no, I'm not. Turn back same way, chuck the ball, and it was so
yeah,
quick. So it's like
I feel like he's protecting the sticks too.
I just
You know
feel
what I'm saying?
like in that situation, it's pretty crazy to like just allow 6 yards behind you in the end zone though. Like I don't
Yes,
know.
yeah.
It's
Okay, I get what you're
again
saying.
hindsight 2020, but felt it's just wild all the way around. Crazy throw. It was Komet that was there. Komet touchdown, right? Like
Yeah.
him being there is pretty crazy. 2 DBs, 6 yards in front of him, insane. I don't know.
I'm
There's
probably thinking that ball's coming short. Like if he's able to, like, cause that was like 70 something. Like, you know what I mean? Like
it was crazy. Well, I mean,
I'm
he
not
threw it
thinking
off
that
his
thing's
back
going
foot
over my head.
at like the 40,
Like,
right? But you're talking about like
yeah,
trajectory going up and over like the rainbow
yeah.
throw.
And
It
he ran
was
26 yards by the line of scrimmage and threw it. Like
it was crazy.
I'm not thinking that ball's gonna get there. Like I'm thinking maybe it's a jump ball in the end zone.
DJ Moore
Like in
quit
the
on that
front
play.
line. Yeah, he did. He did. But why is like my problem with that is the turnovers earlier in the game. Uh, I know it's fourth down, and you might think I'm not saying you specifically, but the
I know.
average NFL fan might think this pick's not bad. It was a turnover either way. The pick was bad because the guy was open. He was trying to hit the guy. He threw the ball way behind him. It got picked. He had the open read. If that was third down instead of fourth down, it's an atrocious pick. It was an atrocious pick either way because the guy was open. He read it. He threw it. Bad ball. That
Much.
DJ Moore one.
Sorry.
Mhm. No, that DJ Moore one. It's on him because he didn't need to go for the kill shot there at all. There. They already stopped the Rams offense. They can go and take a field goal. He did not need to go for the kill shot. DJ Moore, what are we doing now? Like, I'm not gonna lie, what are we doing, DJ Moore? That's ridiculous. I still don't think he'll needed to go for the kill shot though.
Yeah, sure. I was just gonna say it was the first one you were talking about, like fourth down is gonna be in turnover either way. We're not even like the guys that are like, still got to make a play, don't throw an interception, because we literally gave him credit for it last week.
Yeah,
Quite
100%.
literally, we're like, it was a really heads up play on him. Don't know why the DB on the
Just
Packers
arm
side
talent.
didn't just swat it down. Like we quite literally said that on the last podcast. So I'm right there with you. It was impressive, but ultimately they don't move on. We should probably talk more about the Rams, but it just feels like I feel like we've
The
discussed
Rams
them a lot
disappointed.
this season, and yeah, they
Yeah,
were they were
they won in a
underwhelming.
disappointing fashion. Yeah,
So
exactly.
we'll see what they got to bring, because the last two matchups, both very different matchups, but Seattle and Rams have been great. One being, I believe, 1916 field goal off, and the other one was the 2 point conversion fiasco. So huge, huge game. It's gonna be a fun to. That one's gonna be a fun championship game to watch.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not gonna rule
Pacers
out
one
the
by
other
yeah.
one. I'm not gonna rule out the other one. It's
I'm
it's
down to
great defense. So
for
let's get
defense. I'm
right
down
into
to
these
pivot to the
predictions.
predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So the first game, Pats Broncos.
I mean,
What do
I'm
you?
riding with the Pats, but
Yeah, me too. But what is your confidence level going into this game for Stidham to have a decent game, or the Broncos overall? Like, what do
okay.
you think? What do you think when you think of him?
I don't necessarily have an opinion of him. So my opinion is actually going to be more towards Sean Payton, and it's that I do believe he can scheme a game plan for him to be at least partially successful. And I believe that about 6 out of 10. I almost went up a number, but I'll go 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. He can. Yeah.
But it's more just that I believe the game plan could be good enough, but I don't think I necessarily would believe in him as an individual, but
Well, I was just curious because the conversation surrounding Stidham is people either see him as a bum. I don't agree with that, or they think he's 80 or 90% of what a Bo Nix is, and I feel like it comes down to where how good
oh,
of a
I
player
think
you
it's
think Bo
neither.
Nix is. If you're low on Nix, then you probably think Stidham isn't that far off. I think me and you're both reevaluating right now, so I couldn't give you a definitive where I think Nix is. But I was a Stidham believer, and we've only been doing this podcast since September, guys. 4 years ago, I thought he was going to be our future. I was I was definitely in on this guy. I was definitely stud him. Like I was in on him. So maybe reality hasn't set in for me a little bit, but I still think he's a competent quarterback. And I think the Texans defense or the Broncos defense is similar to the Texans. And Sean Payton won't allow Jarrett Stidham to have 5 turnovers.
I agree.
So what are we gonna do when the margins are that much slimmer? Like I am worried. And we're going to
I
Denver. We haven't lost a road game all year, but
that's
man, those
that's
elements,
impressive too.
mile high, like uh I'm worried.
We'll see, right? Ultimately, it's a lot of um not history, but definitely a lot of coaching experience on both sidelines. And I think that's going to be what might decide this game ultimately, just because the defensive unit for Denver is really good. They're really good. We've been saying it
Rivers.
before the year. We said preseason it could be the best in the league. Like, we've talked a lot about defenses this episode in specific because defense wins championships. It's a little cliche, but it's true. That's why all these great defenses are still here and the Patriots. I'm just
We're a
playing.
great defense.
I'm
What are
just
you talking?
playing. I'm just playing. That said, I actually am going to change my answer because
Mhm.
we just talked about it again, and I can't do it a second time. Denver does not have weapons. It's not like you could plug this guy in. Like, I feel like Kyle Shanahan can get that credit. Like, plug a guy in and he knows how to, like, make him be great with whatever's around him. You know what I mean? Great might be a stretch, but good enough. Sean
This
Payton,
is
I
gonna
want
pop
to,
off.
I do believe that he's been able to do that in the past, but I also believe he's had a lot more talent offensively, like more so in his New Orleans days.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna change my answer. Honestly, I'm like 50-50. I don't. I'm kind of what you're saying. Like, the jury's out. Like, he might be just Bo Nix. 80% of him,
He's
or
gonna be
a
different,
bum. I'm thinking he's gonna land somewhere right in the middle. But
different
Patriots been
system
lining
everything.
up good quarterbacks, or at least
Yeah,
Herbert. Herbert is a good
receiver.
quarterback. Stroud, I guess people are gonna backtrack it now, but going into that game, I don't think people felt even half of the way they do right now. If I'm being honest, I
Yeah,
really don't. I think
I
that
agree.
that game was so bad. Like I'm not even lying. Like I don't think it's an overreaction how people are feeling after, but it was just eye opening how awful he was. And then you start to be like, okay, well he has actually just declined anyway since his rookie year. It's been there, but we've kind of given him this credit, like he can get back to it.
Yeah, we need more than a year sample size and it's week two. But uh, what worries me about this is that offensive line's elite. We're not gonna get pressure the way we are. They they didn't run the ball against Buffalo. Like I said, they ran the ball 8 times. That's Buffalo's weakness. They passed the ball all around the yard. That is Buffalo's strength. They were a top three passing defense in the NFL this year, and they took it to their strength with that lack of weapons, which I agree they do have a lack of weapons, but they beat Buffalo in Buffalo's game. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was a shootout, and they were passing the ball. They beat them in their game. I'm not saying we won't have better results because we can stuff the run better. This offense is going to be different because Stidham can't run 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage in totality in the first half. Like that's not what he's going to do. They might run the ball more, and we will stuff that run. But I am worried that Sean Payton is going to have something up his sleeve to steal a couple points, and he's not going to let Stidham turn the ball over 5 times. And we have needed that in like every game. We've needed these turnovers to survive.
It's gonna
I'm
be a good
I'm
matchup.
leaning Patriots, but it's Patriots. I'm leaning Patriots. I'm hoping very much so, but
It's part of our sponsor this episode, so that makes sense.
yeah, if we go 2 of 14 on third down again, chalk it because we're not getting 5 turnovers. We're not getting a pick six like
I don't agree.
against. Okay, so
I'm saying
so if
that
you
I think the reason I'm saying I'm 50-50 is because I don't think he's going to go out there and be awful like Stroud was and give you 5. But I think he could give you one really costly one. I don't know if he's going to be able to, because I mean, at a minimum, I think you guys keep this game close all game. And if it's like it just was a week ago, where kind of like you said, like Bo Nix had the ball and it felt like he was going to do it and he did it, right? Like I'm not going to feel that way if it's him. If anything, I'm feeling the opposite. I'm thinking ball in his hands, he needs to win it. You can't really script this type of drive, not in my opinion at least. You kind of just need a guy who makes the play. I don't think he's gonna be that. I think if anything, he's the guy that's gonna put the nail in the coffin for his own team. And that's not to. I'm not trying to be pessimistic or dismissive. It's a backup quarterback, and backups are backups for a reason. But we've seen it done before, not just the Super Bowl. I just mean like full stepped up in that situation, but we've never seen this. We've never seen a guy go out on what I feel as if was his final snap of the game in the divisional, and then the team still win, and now have to start their backup. Like he has a week to prepare. Foles had a couple weeks of regular season before the playoffs even started, and we locked up the 1 seed. He had the bye week, extra time for a
and he
playoff
was a
game.
starter.
Much exactly, and much yeah, much different situations. So all jokes aside, this is an incredibly tough situation for him to come into. But he said before the year started that he truly believes he's a starter in this league. It's his chance to show it.
I think he's a top three backup in the NFL,
I mean,
and maybe I'm hedging my bet. Maybe I'm hedging my bet, and maybe it's because he was a Patriot, and I still got love for him.
it's kind of
I
a key, bro. God.
I think I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility he's a starter and that he's going to be decent this game. I I hope we can overcome a backup quarterback, but I've been burnt. I have been burnt. So my hopes are high, but
It's much
my gut
different
feeling
though.
is it is much different. But my gut feeling is that it is going to be a very close ball game, and we're going to pull it out at the end. But I don't want it to be close. I really want to go up
And there
41 to
is that
6
chance, right?
and
Like,
coast.
excuse me, but if you split
Broken
this into
coverage, yeah.
if I was gonna say
I
if you
think
split this into a pie and we're like you get to have 4 options, give me the percentages of what you think how this game goes. I think the
Okay,
biggest percentage is a close game that the Pats win in the end. I think there's that small slice that they win the close game, right? I think it's 50% chance that it's the close game that goes your guys' way. And when I say close, I'd say like they cover the spread. You guys are 5.5 points favorites in Denver. So
that's crazy.
I think that
That
they would,
the field goal.
at least currently as it stands,
Yeah.
I think that you guys could win by 3, 4, and they still cover. You know what I mean? So in that case, a close game that goes your way. I think there's a small percentage that they get a win. I'd say the other two are really like Drake May has an awful game and turns it over a lot. I would say it's another small percentage in my opinion. And I'd say the second biggest chance of a game is you guys just destroy them because it's not competent quarterback play. They can't keep themselves in the game. Like I said, I'd probably say 50 on you guys winning close. I'd probably say like 25 on you guys just blowing them out, which I don't know how you want to take that. I'd say in a playoff game, especially in a championship game, 10 plus points is a blowout, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the other two, you could split the difference. So that's just my opinion on it, though.
Yeah, I'm worried, but I'm hopeful. And so I think both of the Pats in this game, though, like overall, if we're doing like a
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
who are we taking Pats? Okay, both taking Pats. The Broncos have an elite defense. What is their offense going to be? That's the storyline. Can Drake May step up? Can our defense continue to play at the level it has been? That's the storyline for that side. Now, I think we should probably move on at this point to
Definitely true.
Seahawks Rams,
Absolutely.
and we might differ here just based on just the feeling I've had this conversation. Maybe it's just
I'm really
maybe
50-50.
yeah. I don't. I think that's what the difference is. I'm not 50-50. I think the Seahawks are going to dominate the Rams. That's maybe I
I
could
think
be weighing
momentum's
this 49er
huge
game
in the
in
playoffs,
way
though.
too much. What
See, but
happened?
I was saying that I think momentum is just like I think
Yeah.
momentum in sports is huge. I think it's enormous in the playoffs, and
And
having that home
confidence.
crowd on your side too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're nicknamed 12 for a reason. I mean, I want a good ball game, right? Ultimately, that's what I'm rooting for in both games. For me, as a neutral fan at this point, is just give me great football to watch, and I'm gonna love it. That said, I do think I lean towards McVay and Stafford just because I trust the quarterback more. That's really it. Like, because I think Seattle's defense is phenomenal, but Stafford versus Darnold to me, I mean, kind of like we said last round when we talked Buffalo and Denver. You just give me the quarterback I trust more, and I trust Stafford.
Yeah. Okay. I coming into this playoffs would have completely agreed. I think Stafford has a glaring weakness that is getting exposed. He is, I think he's the 31st ranked quarterback in the NFL when it comes to dealing with pressure in terms of EPA.
It's an eye
I don't
opening
want to
stat.
get too I don't want to get too much into too advanced of analytics because I don't think that's very entertaining sometimes. But he is awful. He is an awful football player when he gets pressured. He cannot move. He doesn't have the angles he did 2 years ago to throw the ball. He is very much drop back, and at the end of my hitch, I am standing here and I'm delivering. If they can heat him up, and I think they can, it is going to be a very brutal game for Stafford, in my opinion.
I have
And
a sorry.
it could go south quick. It can go south quick. This could also, if we're doing a pie thing again, I'd say 40% Seahawks blow them out.
Damn.
20% it's a close
And
game.
sorry, but same blowout like as mine, 10 plus. Like that's
I'll go
what.
2+ touchdowns. That's
Holy, so 12 or
yeah,
14?
14.
Holy cow,
I'll go
40%.
14, and I'll go 20% close game. Seahawks win.
You're at 60,
30%. So where I'm at. So 30%. The Rams win comfortably by 4+ points.
10.
And I have 10, and then 10% the Rams just go in there, put their foot on their neck, and beat the crap out of them. I truly believe this is Seattle's game. This is Seattle's Super Bowl to lose. They're a juggernaut. They're the best team, most complete team in the NFL, and they are going to whoop up on old man Stafford
So
in this week coming up.
I'm just so big on like that's why I'm saying like every week for the last few, it's been Seattle's gonna play the Rams, Seattle's gonna play the Niners, Seattle's gonna play the Niners again. like, and I'm always going against them, and they keep winning. So For their sake, I'll continue this week. That said, because you're my best friend and my co-host, I'll choose them in the Super Bowl when we do our pod just for you, bro.
Just for me.
Just for
Appreciate
you.
that.
Just for you.
Appreciate. I'll be wrong again for you.
For you, twin.
Nah, this. Nah, I'm actually genuinely scared. But the Seahawks, they're a
Broncos
great
first.
team at every level. They're a great team at every level. Offensive line shaky. I actually will say that. But I think they got a good quarterback. I think they got great weapons. Offensive line again shaky, but even then they're like they have like the highest success rate in like NFL history and like running like duo and things like that, which is like the foundation for a great offense. Uh, and they run the ball, they run that rock. They're getting hot at the right time. Like I don't know, they buzzsaw the Niners. I didn't see that, and that's really like got me feeling like they got the juice right now. They got that momentum. They got unshakable belief in everything they're doing. It could get nasty.
Well,
Uh,
the weird thing is that I had so much hope in the Eagles. Delusional hope. I was coping. That's our other sponsor, so Um, and it was because of their defense. So I feel like I should be on the Seattle side of this, but once again, I'm not. I think they are great. Momentum's on their side. Being at home is it's huge. It really just is the quarterback for me. I mean, I guess you could say quarterback coach, but I don't even want to disrespect McDonald, right? Is it McDonald? Whatever. I don't
There's
want
too
to
many
disrespect him.
Mike's Knicks.
I don't want to disrespect him at all because he's done a great job, and he is the defensive style coach that I think you're saying is like the other combo you like.
Be good offensive
Your
coordinator.
go to combo.
Sure.
So I'm on the side I probably shouldn't be, considering I was gonna take the Eagles in every round that they were alive, but I'm gonna go with Stafford and McVay. But I do think it's gonna be an incredibly
I don't hate it.
I I do I do think it's gonna be an incredibly entertaining game. I don't know
Well,
how close it would be if Seattle wins, because that defense is it's really good. And I was gonna bring up, like, I really don't know the stat, but it just made me think quarterbacks that are highly immobile, so limited, if you will, and how they were against the blitz. So I was thinking, I wonder what like Brady's stats were just in those later years where he couldn't move for shit. He never was really like super mobile, but
I get what you mean. But
excuse my
his
language.
superpower was identifying that pre-snap,
No, well,
so it wouldn't be
Brady's
an
the
issue.
goat. I'm not trying to like. They're not
Yeah.
even on the same tier of quarterback. They're not. Brady's on a tier of his own. So I didn't mean that in a disrespectful sense. I
No,
just
no,
mean
no, not at
quarterbacks
all.
who are immobile, can't get out the pocket, not very well, not
They
fast
have
at all.
to.
Because that's
Yeah.
that's the thing here is Matt Stafford like starts his rollout and you're like, whoa, he might get going. He never does. So don't expect it. He's not going anywhere.
I don't know. He's looking to pass every time.
So that's kind of why I'm saying I feel like he should be able to have that, like you said, superpower in identifying it. And I do feel like it'll be coached. It'll be a big coaching point, but
Well,
that
with
hasn't
Dotson
been
going
what
down,
you said.
that's the
What
biggest thing. With Dotson
they
going
lost their
out, like
guard?
down
Yeah,
that,
that is
yeah, like a
rough.
few. That's to me where I've seen this steep decline by Stafford. Is this O line isn't the best or second, third best O line in the NFL anymore, and it's getting picked up apart, and he's struggling to deal with that, very much so. And like even take like I know we're going back here a little bit, but even take Drake May against the Texans, that 4th and 1 touchdown to Pop Douglas. He comes to the line, he audibles, he slides the line left, he knows where the blitz is coming from. Like that's the McDaniel system. It puts all the pressure on the quarterback, but again, that allows for you know what I mean, like a much higher ceiling. It allows for the game script to go much more smoothly because the quarterback's out there seeing it much more clearly than the coordinator is. So when they get to dictate the protection, they know exactly what's going on. Stafford isn't dictating his protection. This is the scheme McVay has come into has like developed for him. He's trusting in it. So these free blitzers, this extra pressure, these loops, they're getting through because Stafford isn't in charge of the line of scrimmage like he should be, in my opinion. But that's why he's struggling. He can't handle pressure, and he's not in charge of how things are getting picked up. Like he's
Some
just going
bad
with the
plays
play
pick
call.
up by running backs too.
Yeah, that too. Kyron Williams has been very disappointing in there. Blake Corum might need to play a lot more. That is also true.
Might be a little bit of a scouting error though. Like Corum is so much better in pass blocks. So if he's in,
Yeah.
they pass him. But they've been giving him the ball a lot, so it would be a
I
little
get
bit
what you're
easier to
saying.
disguise. So yeah, so that said, it's gonna be a great weekend of football. I'm sad that the Eagles
Always.
aren't a part of it, but it's wings versus rings, and right now it's just rings. Well, technically it could be wings versus rings in the Super Bowl. It just wouldn't be mine.
Different set of
Birds
wings.
of a feather. No, I'm playing. All right. It's gonna be a great weekend of football. It has been 2 weeks in a row now. We've been gifted with great football. Weirdest year of NFL I feel like I've ever seen, and of course that year will now be capped off with Sam Darnold and Jarrett Stidham playing championship football.
That's insane.
I'm
I would not have
disrespectful.
guessed that 3 years ago.
Wouldn't have guessed that 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, because the
At
Stidham.
least
Yeah.
half it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
Anyways, as always, go Birds, go Pats
That's.
because they're actually playing ball still,
Thankfully.
and we'll see you next week.